know, Mr. DeMartini, just like yours.
Good boy now. That's what I call a smile, isn't it, Wayne?
Well, I hope you enjoyed my interpretation of a trip on an old dining car. I got a couple of new items that I wanted to show you. You've seen some of my other menus. I don't have a lot of them on display. Most of them are from Vegas restaurants that are long gone, some Chicago restaurants, including my dad's. But I have some train menus. So one of the first things, I'm filming this in double. The weather is not cooperating, and so I'm having to do indoor stuff. But I wanted to show you some of these things, so hold on one second here. The first thing I got the one problem with these smaller camcorders like I have, like this one, they take good pictures and they're cheap. They're 50 bucks. But they make a lot of noise, and unless you can remember every time you push record, the date will be on the bottom, and it's a date that doesn't even correspond to today's date because I don't set it. So then I have to crop it out. It's a real pain, and sometimes I forget, so there's a couple of my videos where you'll see that stupid thing on the bottom. But anyway, this is these are receipts from the Milwaukee Road. So this one is for $3.64. This one's for $4.20. I don't know if this thing's going to focus in properly or not. There you go. And this one is for $2.14, looks like it says. Get you the full picture there. So this is some businessman from the 1960s receipts that he probably turned in or declared for his taxes at that point, or hers. And I've got them now. They were $1 on eBay. I couldn't resist because of the Milwaukee Road logo on them. This you've seen already also, but I just show it to you one more time. This is from the Baltimore, Ohio, and this is what they call oftentimes referred to as a table d'hote, or one set price for a meal. And so this gave you a few choices of meals. Baked Virginia ham with raisin sauce and things like that. So this was a set menu at a set price on the Baltimore, Ohio Railroad. Eventually, when we get to our final destination, this is what I received the other day. I saw these on eBay and I really couldn't resist, so this is from the train was called the City of Miami, and it's from the Illinois Central Railroad. And then I have the breakfast. Let's see which is which here. That's dinner. This is the breakfast menu from the Illinois Central Railroad. City of Miami train again. And the only bad part about these is at least on these, I mean, I try to look for this when I'm buying things for myself. I don't resell anything, or I just have things like this on display, but I always look for either the logo or the name of the railroad or restaurant or whatever on here, because I prefer to display these with all the food items and prices, because that's actually the historical part of the whole thing. So this one does have that. It doesn't have the logo, unfortunately, but it does have the name of the railroad and the name of the train, the City of Miami. And this was the breakfast menu. And forgive me, I have to put my glasses on. So you could have sugar-cured ham or bacon with 2 eggs for $2.35. It says, breakfast, please order by number, specifying each item desired. You got a choice of fruit, juice, or cereal with these 4 breakfast items. The mainliner favorite was griddle cakes, our own special recipe with maple syrup and bacon or sausage, and again you have the choice of fruit, juice, or cereal. Dry buttered toast, the coffee pot for 50 cents. So, and this is again the breakfast menu from the Illinois Central Gulf Railroad. This one is the lunch menu from the same train. Filet of fresh fish, tartar sauce, and French fried potatoes, coleslaw, and a luncheon roll for $2.65. A fruit cup, grenadine, so some cool items there. And keep in mind though that this menu is from 1969, and so in 1969 most people were only making about a 90 to $1 an hour, 90 cents to $1 an hour. So when you see $2.65 in today's money, it sounds like a bargain, but in fact it was fairly expensive. And this, of course, this is the dinner menu, again from the Illinois Central. Pardon me. Grilled Lake Superior whitefish with lemon butter was $4.25. Pan-fried pork chops for $4.35. A roast young tom turkey with chestnut dressing for $4.40. Charbroiled sirloin strip steak with mushrooms, $6. So then they sold souvenirs, souvenir ashtray, which you'll never find an ashtray again. I have a lot of ashtrays from the Las Vegas casinos that are gone. And when I was taking trains, both when they were like Chicago Northwestern, passenger trains, or Amtrak, people smoked on the trains. I don't remember seeing ashtrays. Maybe there were in the club cars, but there was a little ashtray thing in the seat usually. But they sold playing cards, zipper bags. I wouldn't mind having one of those playing cards, especially if it had the logo on it, but that's kind of cool. I do have a lot of Vegas playing cards with the old hotels that are no longer there, the Sands, the Riviera, you know, things like that. So here's the dinner menu. And as much as I like to catch trains in action, I really like to catch the abandoned rails and find the abandoned rails, because without all of the history of these railroads, the other stuff really doesn't matter. It's always nice to know where you came from. And so for me, collecting stuff like this, coming out of the restaurant business and collecting stuff like this, helps preserve that time. And so I subscribe to many channels who catch trains in action, which is great too. And some of the trains that I like the train channels that I like to watch are people like Railroad 82, who is the railroad archaeologist. He goes and explores the abandoned tracks. Rogue Exploration does a lot of abandoned trackage, abandoned railroad buildings. JPV Video does. So there's a lot of train channels out there that dabble in the history of the railroad, and that's really, I think that's what I like the most insofar as finding rails myself, is finding the old abandoned stuff and trying to figure out, what went on, where it was. So once I get into South Florida, there's quite a bit more of that down there. There's quite a bit more active rail too, but there's a lot more of the historical railroad stuff, Henry Flagler, and so any number of historical railroad tycoons, if you will, that were in Florida, and so consequently there's a lot of trackage and a lot of cool stories and things, and so I'm anxious to get down there and start doing some of that. So, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I will take some still shots, or whatever you call them, camera shots of these menus, so that you can take a look at them at your leisure. And until next time, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye.